Large crowds, this is verse 25, large crowds were traveling with Jesus, and he turned and said to them, "If anyone comes to me, but does not hate his father, mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters, or even his own life, he cannot be my follower. Whoever is not willing to carry his own cross and follow me cannot be my follower. If you, and here we go with the first example here. There's two coming up. If you want to build a tower, you first sit down and decide how much it will cost to see if you have enough money to finish the job. If you don't, you might lay the foundation, but you would not be able to finish. Then all who would see it would make fun of or mock or ridicule you, saying, "This person began to build, but was not able to finish." Second example, if a king is going, this is verse 31, if a king is going to fight or meet in battle with another king, first, will he not sit down and plan? He will decide if he and his 10,000 soldiers can defeat the other king who has 20,000 soldiers. If he can't, then while the other king is still far away, he will send some people or an embassy or a messenger to speak to him and ask for terms of peace. In the same way, you must give up everything you have to be my follower. And then there's this little annotation or not annotation, but a little two verses at the end that go with it that are super important. Verses 33 and 34. In the same way, you must give up everything that you have to be my follower. Sorry, verse 34 and 35. Salt is good, but if it loses its salty taste, you cannot make it salty again. It is no good for the soil or for manure. It is thrown away. Let those with ears use them and listen, or the one who has ears to hear, let him hear. Luke frames this in the context of the road to Jerusalem. The disciples, the crowds are walking toward Jesus' passion. He is not seeking a following for its own sake, or he's not seeking a following for just having a following, or for the sake of having a following. He's separating genuine followers from those seeking spectacle. In that culture, family ties were supreme. Possessions determined survival, and crucifixion was the most shameful, painful fate. To say what Jesus says here would have jarred his hearers, those listening. And that's exactly what he wanted. This isn't, the preacher gets up there and says, "I'm going to say something controversial." This is something that completely shook them and was like worthy of, if a preacher said something equivalent today, over half the congregation would get up and walk out, which is likely exactly what happened here. So there are three, as we reflect back on this passage of Luke, three non-negotiables for discipleship that Jesus lays out here. Prioritizing Jesus over all relationships. So back to verse 26, if anyone comes to me but does not hate his father, mother, wife, children, brothers, or sisters, or even his own life or life itself, he cannot be my follower or my disciple. The word hate that's used here in the Greek is hyperbolic, of course, as most can insinuate. He's not telling you to literally hate these people, but what he is demonstrating here is a Hebrew idiom, which means to love less. Jesus isn't commanding the emotional hostility that can be insinuated on the surface, but rather demanding loyalty so supreme that every other love appears secondary. And again, this would have been seen as shocking in a culture where family was the anchor of survival, honor, and inheritance. They didn't even have last names back then. It was, so-and-so, son of so-and-so. That was how you knew each other, was by the parental hierarchy, so to speak. Yet, this is consistent with the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. So, in a way, what Jesus is also demonstrating here is that he's placing himself as God.